mom got the chicken sandwich when they eat there.
Yeah, that's what
We should.
She went around asking everybody, "Do you know that?" Yeah, it was like really very, very cute. Most people said, "You don't like to guess that." But she asked all the grandkids on the phone too. My watch says yes, but I'm not on my phone, so I don't know.
Well, we'll go ahead and start Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for being here. It's a beautiful evening, and so some of you are here just it's your side, you're a regular, whatever it is. Others, you're here because of the special invitation that we had with a random group that's not that random. I think I did tell you the criteria was if you didn't grow up here or have your kids grow up here, if you had kids, and you joined within the last, 15 years or something, then you were invited. So at first it was like, well, if you don't really have a group that you're attached to, but then, how do you judge that? Some people do, some people don't. So our past president and treasurer are in that group, but they clearly have a group, and they have lots of people that they know. But so it's anyone with that, and the hopes is you'll get to know each other better, and we'll get to know you a little better. And there's all congregations. It's not true, but there's some truth to it. Seem to be children oriented, right? And all the programming is for families and things like that. But we're made up of all kinds of people who aren't families. Many people, in fact, well over 50% of our new members every year, especially the last several years, are single or empty nesters. So you think it's all. We do have the young families joining too, but it's a whole different ballgame. And so anyway, it's great to have you here. Thanks for being here. We're going to begin on page 5. Shir L'Adonai, Shir Chadash, sing to God a new song. A couple of stickers for some 7th graders. Shir L'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir L'Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shir L'Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato, Safru b'goyim, Kevodo b'chol ha'amim, Nivota, Ki Gadol Adonai, Ulameo, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, Ha'amim Elim, Ba'adonai Shomayim Asa, Od Ve'Hadav, Ve'Evana, Od Ve'Tiferet, Ve'Nitasho, Abul Adonai. light is sown for the righteous. Ozarua, Latzati, O Yisrael Simcha. Ozarua, Latzati, O Yisrael Simcha. Ozarua, Latzati, O Yisrael Simcha. O Yisrael Simcha. We'll jump to page 12. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu Le'har Kodesh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu Le'har Kodesh. Page 13. Page 15. We're going to do the first two and the last two stanzas only. We'll change the tune in the middle. Adonai Welcoming the Shabbat bride. Bo even shalom asterah, Ram besimcha u'betzorah, Tov elunem am seulah, Bo ikara bo ikara, Lecha lecha Elohi, Lecha lecha Kala, B'nei b'nei Shabbat say to any mourners on our mitzvah, may God comfort you with all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem, and we may be seated. Page 19. Mizmor shir le'yom ha'shabbat, tov le'odot le'Adonai, u'lezamer le'shimcha elyon, lezamer le'shimcha elyon, le'ha'im continue on our own, pages 19 and 20. Tzadikat amar Yifra ka'erez balanon Yizkeh shetunim bebeit Adonai Rod Eloheinu Yafrimu Aftikum tevel tibo, tachon kisvad nezmam, ata nasunerot, Adonai nasunerot, kolam, isunerot, okam. Yikolot manim, mayim rabim adirim, Yisrael rise briefly for the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. May be seated, Baruch Adonai L'Mechalom, Asher B'Barom Arim Aravim. Yom Balayla, Or Mipnei Choshek, V'Choshek Mipnei Or. Yom Uvin Laila, Mavdil Ben Yom Uvin Laila, Adonai Tzavot Shemo. El Chai V'Kayam Tamid, Loch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'ma'arim V'Aravim. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael, Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al Ken Adonai Eloheinu, V'shavenu u'vekumeinu, Nasiach v'chukecha, v'nishmach v'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negdei omam balayla. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negdei omam balayla. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negdei omam balayla. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negdei omam balayla. Ve'vacha al tasir mimenu le'olami, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'odecha, v'chayu advarim ha'elah, asher anochi mesavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shitecha v'beitecha, u'lechtecha derech, u'shofrecha u'vekumecha, u'shartam le'ota v'yadecha, ve'yulitotofo v'neinecha, u'tatam al mizuzo v'beitecha, u'visharecha. Continue on our own, pages 27 through 29. Tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem keroshim lo'echem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, emet, Adonai Elohechem, emet. Page 32. Machato Ratzon Kohem, Hashem Neshav HaShabbat, Amishra B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Kulam. Page 33. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Mishon, V'chayenu Akeinu L'chaim. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Mishon, V'chayenu Akeinu L'chaim. Sukkot Shalom Lecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Haparei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, V'Kol Ha'Yisrael Yisrael, V'Yerushalayim. Please rise for the Shamru, page 34. Shamru B'nei Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, L'asot Et HaShabbat, Me'tortam Be'itolam. B'nei Yisrael, Oti Le'olam. the Chatzi Kaddish, which Lucio and Eddie are going to join me for and will help me lead. I'm not going to leave you by yourself. 35. Yikadal v'yikadash shmei Rabba Amen Yom Adibrach Yurtei V'yavlich Malchutei V'chayekon Yomekon Uvayelecho Beit Yisrael Agala Umizman Kari V'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Yahar v'Romam v'Naseh v'Nadar v'Taleh v'Talal Shmei Kedusha v'Richu Le'amin Kol Berchata v'Shirata Tushvechata v'Nechemata Damiram v'Alma Amen. Dr. Koach. Page 37 to 48, Private Amidah. Oh, say shalom Yirma. Say shalom Aleinu. you up for leading the Matbea Tefillah. It is on page 49, and you can continue with all the way up through Kadisha.
Vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayachal Elohim vayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbod vayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa Vayavarech Elohim et Yom HaShvi'i Vayakadesh Oto Ki vo Shabbat mikol melachto Asher bara Elohim v'asod Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Konei Shamayim v'Aretz, Ha'magen Avod v'Damaro, B'chayei Meitim b'Ma'amaro, Ha'el HaGadol, She'ein Kamohu, Ha'meiach le'amo, Yom Shabbat Kosho Kivam Ratza Le'aniach Lahem Kivam Ratza Le'aniach Lahem Lefanav Navod V'yira V'fachad V'nodeh Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid Me'ein HaBrachot Elot Adon Hashalom Mekadesh HaShabbat U'mevarech Shemi U'meiach B'kedusha Le'amedu Shnei Onei Zecher L'maseh V'reishi Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu, Retzevinu Chateinu, Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, V'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, Saveinu mituvecha, V'samcheinu b'shuatecha, V'ta'er libeinu, V'ta'er libeinu le'yotecha ve'emet ve'emet V'ta'er libeinu le'yotecha ve'emet V'hamchileinu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava u'b'ratzon Shabbat Kodshecha, V'yanu Chuva, Yisrael, Mikadshe Shmecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Yikadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbai, V'yamal divrei chirutei, V'yamlich malchutei, V'chayechonu v'yomechonu, V'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, V'galav bizman kariv imaru, Amen. V'yei Shmei Rabba mevorach, Ve'olam le'om le'om Yibarach v'yishtamach, v'yibor v'yiframah v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal Shemei l'kudsha, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushpachata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma v'imaru. Amen. Tikabel tzalot honu v'arahon dechol Yisrael, Kodam avon divishmaya v'imaru. Amen. Yishlam araba min shamaya v'chayim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'imromah, Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'imeru.
So, for those of you who are not Friday night regulars, we have two things that we do that are not sort of normal Friday night Shabbat at most places. The first is this is not a sermon where there's a little historical moment, but we're breaking mostly from our micro-history. I'm usually reading a letter that was found in the files from sometime between 1950 and 1990, and seeing what we can learn about our congregation with that. Today we're going to talk Olympics. The second custom we'll tell you later. Now, so I'm specifically going to be talking about Israel in the Olympics, and of course there's a lot of great sadness with Israel in the Olympics. That's not mostly what I will be talking about. And there'll be some trivia. We'll see how well you do on some of these questions too. But I do want to mention a few of those things that happened early on. First of all, 1933. The Palestine National Olympic Committee was formed. That, of course, was the Jewish Olympic Committee at that time. But as the soon-to-be Jewish state at that time, they didn't know it was going to be named, and they called themselves the Palestine National Olympic Committee. However, they didn't go to the 1936 Berlin Olympics for obvious reasons. They were also denied participation in 1948, just after Israel had become a nation. Something about how they declared themselves a nation, but they were war and they weren't a country yet. But I call anti-Semitism once again is the most likely reason for that. I'm going to stay in the sadness for just a moment. My first memories of the Olympics were 1972, and I was 6, almost 7 years old. I remember it vividly. I remember Black September vividly, and the Israeli athletes kidnapped and murdered, and just horrible situation. And I will just mention one contemporary thing, which is having redone the shoe and chosen a very outspoken pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel celebrity, Bella Hadid, to introduce those shoes from 1972 was either the most tone-deaf or sinister thing that I could imagine. But that's all I'm going to go on the sad part. Now we're going to talk about happy stuff. Anyone want to guess how many medals has Israel won in the Olympics total?
Since when?
Ever. Yeah. 12. Okay. Any other guesses?
3.
8.
3.
15.
2. 15.
17.
All good guesses. Karen, you were the closest. It is 13. A bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, or a b'nai mitzvah of medals, which hopefully will be broken this time. The most famous and decorated Jewish athlete, that is not Israel, is of course Mark Spitz. What Temple Beth Abraham member won a medal? It was a bronze medal, I'll tell you that. If I keep going, I know, great guess. Marsha Benjamin, swimmer, but she was not in the Olympics. She did.
Was it swimming?
It was not swimming. When I tell you the event, you'll have a better guess.
Judo.
It wasn't judo, it was tennis. And he won the singles bronze. Brad Gilbert. Brad Gilbert, Temple Beth Abraham, Olympic medalist. He grew up here, yeah. Yes. He grew up here. All right, and his parents were very active and did help with a lot of the real estate deals, mostly selling houses low because we were bankrupt. And then, anyway, but that still, they helped, no commission. Okay, so the first Israeli medal, anybody know who won it or what sport it was in?
Sailing.
Good guess.
Judo.
It was judo. It was a silver. It was in Barcelona in 1992.
Really?
Her name was Yael Arad. Yael Arad. First gold member was in sailing, Athens 2004. Anybody know? They're going to go hard. Gal Friedman. Gal Friedman. Israeli in 2020, but it was really 2021, but they still call it the 2020 Olympics. FYI. Israel won 4 medals, including 2 golds. Anyone want to guess the sport? Not judo and not sailing. Gymnastics. Women's rhythm gymnastics. Linoya Shram. And men's floor gymnastics, just on the floor. Artem Dogopiat. So, a lot of some of the success that Israel's had in the Olympics is because of the former Soviet Union, both, athletes, but also the training, right, and coaches. All right, they also won a bronze in women's taekwondo, Avishai Semberg, and a bronze in mixed team judo in 2020. This year's Israeli contenders. Artem Dogopiat returns for the floor exercise, hopes to get a 2nd gold in a row. Team rhythmic gymnastics, I think Linoy is retired, but there are several women who are contenders. In judo, there are several contenders. There are many in sailing, which I just learned tonight actually is taking place in Tahiti, not in Paris.
It's a French possession.
Yeah, it's French. It's a little far, but in all honesty, for the Israeli athletes, it's much safer, I would guess.
Surfing there also. Yeah.
Surfing, yes, all those water sports. Swimming, there is a contender, Anastasia Gorbenko, and maybe the most interesting one is women's marathon. She has been a contender before, and she has not had success, unfortunately. Her name is Lona. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Lona Chimtai Salpeter. She was born in Kenya. She was brought to Israel as a nanny for the Kenyan embassy staff. She competed in a race on a whim. She eventually became active in racing. She married an Israeli track star, but is not at the same level as she is, and is now a citizen of Israel competing in the women's marathon.
They're going to say we cheated.
And then just a few Jewish contenders that are not Israeli in this year's Olympics. You have Amit Elor competing in women's wrestling. She's the youngest ever women's wrestler in the Olympics.
She's from the Bay Area?
She's 20. I think she has some Bay Area roots. I think she has some Bay Area roots, but it might not be her. She has Israeli parents. You have Australian canoe paddlers, Jessica and Noemi Fox. And Noemi, right? Who would have figured, right? And so they're sisters. Jessica already has won 4 medals in the Olympics before. In canoe paddling, there's a U.S. swimmer from Brookline, Massachusetts, named Claire Weinstein, who has the, Brookline. She actually has the best times in the world other than Katie Ledecky. So is a serious contender. And 2 people who have no chance, but they're Israeli, and they went to Northwestern for swimming and swam there. So I mentioned them, which is where I went. David Gerchik and Ayla Spitz, no relation to Mark. And that's your Olympic update. Historical and current. And just, we will conclude it with the Hasidic Nigun I taught to the children as part of the Tot Shabbat tonight. It goes like this. Nine, 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 you have to, then you change it to Lila. Yai, Lila, Lila, I think it's enough. But we had a lot of fun. This Tot Shabbat, we had, fake swimming after we crossed the Michamocha. We had not the triple jump or the high jump or the long jump, but the Vishamru jump. And some kid, what is the Vishamru jump? Really? That was Bodhi, by the way, who said that. For those who know. Oh, we had the longest silence contest. We had gymnastics, teaching or learning all of Torah while standing on one foot. And we had the opening ceremony of the Chadodi, where they walked in. We also had weightlifting of the stuffed Torahs. So it was a full Olympic thing
It's a
tonight.
workout for you,
Right?
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of fun.
You hand out medals?
Yeah, I wish I would have thought of it earlier in the week and like gotten medals for it, but we did not have them. But we have a
2028.
exactly next time, or the Winter Olympics 2026. But the events don't go as well. All right, so please rise to the Kiddush, page 55. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher rishonu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'sharat kodsho b'avoratzo inchilanu zikaron l'maaseh Bereshit ki hu yom tehillah Kodesh, Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim, Ki Anu V'Charta, Ve'otanu K'Dashta, Mikol Ha'amim, Ve'sharat Koshecha, Ve'yamaru Ratzon, And if you're near your children or anyone else you're comfortable blessing, put your hands on their heads and we say, Simcha Elohim k'Ephraim v'chi Menashe, Simech Elohim k'Sar Rivka Rachel v'Leah, Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisrael panav elecha v'yasemecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace. Amen. As you remain standing for the Aleinu 57. Aleinu Shabbat Adon Havo, Atetu Adon Ser Bereshit, Shalom Asanu V'Yei Haratzo, V'lo Samanu V'Nishtachot Ha'adama, Shalom Sam Chalkeinu Kahem, V'lo Shachamim u'modim Lifnei Melech Malkei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim v'Yosei Haaretz U'Moshe Mikoro b'Shamayim Ima'am U'Shkinato B'Kamei Meromi Zulato, Kakatu, Betorato, Yadantayom, Be'asheota, Elevalecha, Ki Adonai, Hua Elohim, Bashamayim, Mima'am, V'Ya'aretz, כתוב בתורתך נעילוך לעולם ואין ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו seated as we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends as Yorksakes we observed during the coming week. Think especially tonight of Hamayun Ardmond, Rebecca Barrell, Francis Block, Irving Romberg, Sarah Dickman, Helen Dubner, Steve Ellis, Ira Glasser, Elmer Glick, Bernard Glick, Bernice Gluck, Samuel Gold, Anna Lee Greenstein, Eleanor Greenstein, Rose Jacobs, Joseph Kaplan, Edward Klinger, Abraham Kravitz, Ray Levitt, Josephine Lutz, Esther Millman, Lisaria Uzuriaga Montesinos, Sam Moss, Faye Ranshaw, Celia Reingold, Douglas Andrew Ross, Elaine Rubin, Howard Rubin, Harriet Solo Schaefer, Aviva Rachel Shotland, Israel Shepard, Kenneth Tesler, David Sifrin. We're in the Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period for William Cooperman, the father of Rachel Cooperman. Our thoughts remain with you, Rachel. Everett Shacker, the father of Kurt Shacker. Miriam Pollock Saracen, mother of Lori Jaffe. Roma DiCallo, mother of Neve DiCallo. And although unfortunately I do not know his name, there was a tragic accident that happened this week. The boyfriend of one of our members, Roni Shacker, so this is someone in his young 20s, was killed when a truck collided with his motorcycle. So our thoughts are, the Shackers are watching, our thoughts continue to be with them at this very difficult time. The members of all who are with us, we ask all those who are in mourning or observing Yorkside, as well as anyone else who would choose to do so, to rise for the mourners' Kaddish on 61. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shnei rabbah. Amen. V'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'gala v'zman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam lo me'almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitrobam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kusha v'yilu. Let Abraham hold their Qatar Shirata, Tushakata, Nehamata, Namiram Delma, Vibru, Amen. Ishlomo Rabban Mishaya, Akaliman, Kol Israel, Vibru, Amen. Ose Shalom, Vibramah, Uyase Shalom, Amen. Kol Israel, Vibru, Amen. Remember the people you've come to say Kaddish shall be a blessing to you always. Let us say, Amen. All right, some announcements. So, really, after there's a dinner that you had to have signed up for. If not, we do have challah, as well as the opportunity to sign up for a dinner coming up in 2 weeks. Rock and Roll Shabbat, followed by dinner. Anyone can sign up for that. And the dinner tonight was prepared by Eliza Somach Grayevsky, but she will not be there to dish it out, but we have others helping for that. She got another opportunity tonight for the Jewish Film Festival, and so she prepared it. She's also preparing tomorrow's Kiddush lunch, which is sponsored by Megan and Dan Shaquet in loving memory of Doug Stevens. And let's see, also the other thing about the dinner tonight, although you did sign up, it's also made possible by a gift from a family foundation. We have lots of other exciting things coming up. So I told you about tomorrow. Then we also have the final Jewish Heritage A's game, at least the final one in Oakland. That's on Sunday, August 4th, 12:30 p.m. tailgate. We have, like I mentioned, Rock and Roll Shabbat on August 9th, RSVP August 2nd. We have August 16th, there'll be a Kabbalat Shabbat, which WTBA and PJ Library are sponsoring, so there'll be a lot of kids there, but it will not be a Tat Shabbat, it'll be a regular Kabbalat Shabbat service, maybe just a little shorter. And I think that's enough for now. I will not be here for the next 11, 12 days. Well, I leave on Monday. I'm joining Karen at the Hadassah convention in Las Vegas. And I make my way from there to Rhine, Saskatchewan. Why am I going to the middle of Canada? Well, my best friend that's a Christian clergy member that I've never met is there. Her name is Pastor Karen Stepko. If you watch services during during COVID. You will recognize her name. She watched every service, commented on everything. Great, just a great human being. And so I'm going to be speaking at their church. And she's going to be coming here later in the year. We don't have the date yet, but we're doing like a pulpit exchange. And she's just an extraordinarily kind human being, you know. And so I'm really excited to go. And we will be spending the Shabbat in Saskatoon, and then I'm. What was that?
Jewish people in Saskatoon?
Yeah, I mean, there's a congregation there. There's a regular congregation and a Chabad. We hope to go to the. Well, we're gonna go to both of them. Guess which one got back to me and which one didn't. Don't actually. A lot to learn from Chabad. Please get back to people. So we've been there for Friday night dinner. He said, we rarely have a minyan, but we're happy to have you for dinner. And I said, my guest isn't going to help make the minyan either, because the pastor will be with me. And then on Sunday, I'm flying into Saskatoon and out of Regina. I'm not actually sure how it's going. Regina. So I'm going out of Regina, and the pastor said, you know, there's a congregation there too, and I know it's not Shabbat, but I bet no rabbis ever go through there. Please contact him, and we're getting together for dinner. So, you know, should be fun. So, all kinds of fun things in Canada, and then and then I'm concluding it by flying to Nashville, where I'm meeting my son Jonah, and it's partway between Santa Claus, Indiana, where we're spending the summer, and Orlando, where he goes to school. We're driving together back down there. So anyway, that would have been a good tie into the song, but not. All right. Anyway, I think that's all we got. All right. Closing song. The other custom is, if you haven't been here.
Maybe guests?
Oh yeah. Well. And if you're not going to the dinner only, because we'll all be introduced.
There might be.
Is there any guest here who's not going to the dinner, who's here for the first time? Otherwise, so we'll save it for that.
Okay.
All right, the closing song, what we've done for the closing song usually is if a famous artist dies, we honor them by singing one of their songs. Now, there were a whole bunch this week. We try to make it one that's sort of spiritual in nature or sort of appropriate. Now, I had a choice between one that doesn't fit that mold, but I can do really well, and that I love, is one of my favorite songs, or one that I do really badly, and I tried to learn this week, but is a lot of fun and is a more famous song. So we're going to go with that one. Putting my ego aside, I don't care how bad I sound on it. We're going to try to all sing together. There's like octave changes. It's very hard. So the one I didn't do was Dave Loggins' Please Come to Boston, which is just a great song, in my opinion, especially if you're partial to 70s, slightly cheesy music, right? Which I am. But the one we're going to do is by the Four Tops, because the last original member, Duke Fakir, died, and the song is I'll Be There, and it's really about community, or if you wish, Hashem, or remember, being there for another person, which is very important. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do, and my apologies in advance. Now, if you feel that you can't go on because all your hope is gone and your life is filled with much confusion until happiness is just an illusion, and the world around you tumbling down, darling, reach out. Sorry about that. Reach out to me. Now I gotta play a little bit to get on the right key for this. When you get that's not in the song, but I have to do it. I'll be there. I still can't do it. The love that will shelter you. I'll be there with the love that will see it through. When you feel about to give up, 'cause your best just ain't good enough, and you're drifting off on your own, and you need a hand to hold, darling, reach out. Come on, girl. Reach out. around, but there's no peace of mind to be found. You're alone now, no love of your own, but darling, reach out, reach out. Shabbat shalom.
We tried.